Hello, everyone. So Kim here, finally, with Native Lady Bookwear. And okay, so first I'm going to start out this video with a little bit of updates and I'm going to kind of move into my October TBR. But first, let me say welcome, Vitsuavet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Kim. I'm an Indigenous booktuber and I've been away for a bit. So I apologize to everybody who does follow me. It's been very busy, but I'll talk about that a little bit more with the updates. So yeah, so let's get started. Okay, wow. I think the last video that I uploaded for BookTube was probably in May. So I am so sorry, everyone. I have been very busy and just a whole lot's going on. So don't worry, this video is going to have timestamps. So if you want to skip ahead and you don't want to watch all this update stuff, then that's like totally fine. So I don't know if any of you maybe view my community page on YouTube, but very recently I had surgery. So I was recovering from that. So I took a huge break from work. I thought that I was going to get like all this reading done during the whole healing process, but unfortunately that didn't really happen because like as soon as my surgery was over and I was recovering from everything, we had to move. Yes, so we moved off the Hopi Reservation, but it's actually right near the Hopi Reservation. I'm currently on our Diné lands, or the Navajo Nation, where my husband is actually from. So yeah, and it's been really awesome. I think coming because we have lived in this community before, the town that we're staying in right now, and it's been just so awesome, and to see how welcoming the community is to my husband and of course myself. So, and then just them asking about my kids and everything. So it's been really cool. But the transition has been rough. It's been so rough because we moved from the Hopi Reservation to Navajo, or a town in Navajo. It was a very difficult and stressful process because the road that we had to take to get here is a dirt road. And with the weather, if it rains and it's too muddy, then we can't really drive on that road because we don't have a truck. But it was we still aren't 100% moved. I remember the last time I filmed, I think I was at my mom's house, and I actually still do have stuff at my mom's house. So sorry, Mom. I promise I'll be out of there as soon as I can. That's just basically what I've been up to. And then in that whole process, my kids started up school again. So I have two of them back to school in person because they are vaccinated. And I have two who aren't vaccinated because they're just too young to get the vaccine. They are actually full-time online students. So my kids are actually split in half. Like two are at school and they wanted to stay at the original school that they were at before. So it's a very long bus ride for them. I think their bus ride is like an hour for them to get to school, and that's if the weather is good. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. I guess I'm gonna transition into what I am reading for the month of October, and there is so many things going on. I mean, there's readathons, there's spooky readathons, there's all these really cool fall readathons and just book challenges, and it was really hard for me to pick. But I guess one of the first books one of the readathons that I really want to throw out there, of course, is Bree's. So the Lockbooktician, I suggest you all follow Bree. Bree is completely amazing. But Bree, last year, and I'm not sure if this is the second annual, but she is hosting a readathon called Blackaweenathon. And I will link down below her video and of course all the prompts and everything. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm making this video in like almost mid-October, but definitely give Brie a follow. I was so bummed out that I didn't participate in this challenge last year. I think At that time, I was just now getting to know other booktubers in the reading community, and I was so happy to have found Bree. Yeah, so Bree's prompts for Blackaweenathon, I'm looking down at my laptop, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking at all of you. So some of these books I'm going to be reading by audio or ebook. The prompts are: number 1, read a book that is a mystery. Oh, I forgot to mention, all of these books have to be authored by Black authors. So the first prompt, read a book that is a mystery. Prompt number 2, read a book that is a thriller. Number 3, read a book that is a horror crime. Read a book that was published in the 1900s that is either a mystery, crime, horror, or thriller. Next prompt, 5, read a book by an underrated author. Prompt number 6, read a book with LGBTQAI2+ rep. And the bonus prompt is read a book with Caribbean and or African diaspora other than Black American rep. So yeah, very, very amazing prompts. I gotta give Bree so much. I mean, I am not worthy, Bree, but Bree is doing so many things for this year's Blackaweenathon. I mean, even just having these really cool, like trying to figure out who the next author she's going to interview, and then just giveaways. And I suggest you all go check it out if you already haven't. So yeah, Bree is pretty, I cannot stop talking about Bree. I follow Bree on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. So I'm a huge fan of Bree. So I'm going to link all her information down below. Go check it out. And yeah, so I'm going to let you know what I'm going to be reading for each prompt. The first book, which actually covers two different prompts, which is the first prompt, read a book that is a mystery, and read a book that is a horror/crime. So I chose for this prompt to read The Changling by Victor Laval. I heard so many great things about this book, and I want to go into it pretty new. I didn't read what it was about at all, and I really don't want to, and I still don't want to, because I'm actually almost finished with it. I am having such a good time with this book, but it's definitely a horror. I also love the writing. The writing, I don't want to say intense is the right word, but it's definitely heart, suspense, thriller. I mean, even social commentary in there, and it's just so darn good. And I suggest y'all check it out. I haven't rated it yet, obviously, because I'm not finished. And I'm just waiting for another opportunity for me to do the dishes because I'm listening to this book by audio, and the author, Victor, actually reads his own book, and it's so good. Yeah, so definitely check it out. And I will link like maybe a description of the book down below as well. Okay, so the second book that I'm going to be reading for Blackoweenathon is read a book that is a thriller. The book that I chose for this prompt is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I cannot wait to read this book. I've heard so many things about this book, and this book was pretty hyped. I remember hearing about this book before I even joined BookTube, and it was so popular. I think some of my favorite booktubers that I do follow really enjoyed this book as well. I just know that, yeah, I'm just so excited to read this book because I've heard many, many, many great things. And like I stated before, this fulfills the prompt that the book that is a thriller. So I'm excited to read it. And yeah, and I'm excited to tell you all my thoughts on it. The thing is, though, I'm trying to get this book via audiobook through my library, but I haven't been so successful. I'm still on the wait list. But if I have to read it by ebook, that's fine. But I've been so busy with work and everything, and I feel like audiobooks are just completely saving me right now. So I can't wait to read this book, and I'm really excited. For the next book prompt is read a book that is published in the 1900s that is either a mystery, crime, horror, or thriller. So I had a really hard time picking this, And I don't know why. I don't know why I had a hard time until I went onto Storygraph, and there's all these book recommendations, of course, because you can search up reading challenges, and I just typed in there Blackaweenathon and it popped up, and there's all these book recommendations. And of course, Octavia Butler was on there. I don't know why I didn't think of Octavia Butler. I know Stephanie Bookish. She recommended me this book, and she said, have you read this book by Octavia Butler yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't read that yet. She's like, you definitely need to read it. So I'm going to be reading for this prompt a book that is in the 1900s. That is a mystery, crime, horror, or thriller, is Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. So I am so excited to read this book, and I think, you know what? I've read the description for this book before, so I'm just going to read like a really quick paragraph. So it says, when global climate change and economic crises lead to social chaos in the early 2020s, yes, 2020s, people, California becomes full of dangers, from pervasive water shortages to masses of vagabonds who will do anything to live to see another day. 15-year-old Lauren Olamina lives inside a gated community with her preacher father, family, and neighbors, sheltered from the surrounding anarchy in a society where any vulnerability is a risk. She suffers from hyperempathy, a debilitating sensitivity to others' emotions. So yeah, I've started this book as well, and so far I'm really liking it. Like, oh, I swear, Octavia Butler truly knows how to like set up characters and to world build. She's like the ultimate. I think right now she's probably one of my favorite sci-fi writers right now. I think I have Wild Seed that I really want to read. I was jumping back and forth for this prompt to either read Wild Seed or to read Parable of the Sower. But I've read a few works of hers before, that one being Kindred, and then the other one being Dawn, which I really loved, because it really made me think about certain things that I took for granted. I don't know how I don't know how to explain her work, but definitely she makes you rethink about different aspects of social human interaction. Like, she kind of pushes the boundaries a little bit, and I love that. It's amazing. She's amazing. And I believe that book, Parable of the Sower, I think it was published in 93. So correct me in the comments if that's not right. But can you imagine writing a book like in the 90s? Because I think when I was reading this book, the year is like 2024, which is not that far off from where we're at right now. But I feel like some of the things that they're describing in the writing and in that book is very much relevant, and that I can see happening not that far ahead. So yeah, that is one book that I am looking forward to finishing. And I also, my library has the graphic novel of it, but I'm listening to the audiobook right now, but I can't wait to go through that graphic novel, and I feel like I'm just gonna be like, whoa, really excited to read the graphic novel once I complete the audio, or maybe during, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so the next book that I'm gonna be reading in October, that fulfills the prompt of Blackoweenathon for read a book by an underrated author. And for this one, it actually fulfills two prompts, this book that I'm gonna read next. And it also fulfills the bonus prompt, which is read a book with Caribbean and or African diaspora other than Black American rep. And the book that I chose is No Gods, No Monsters by Cadwell Turnbull. I cannot wait to read this. I read Cadwell Turnbull's other book, which was called, what was it called? I'm still thinking. I read it in February. The Lesson, yes, definite science fiction read. It was just great. Like, just hearing the characters in that book were just amazing. The character development, and I know there wasn't a whole lot of like fast-paced plot going on. The plot was pretty slow, but It was an amazing book and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so Cadwell Turnbull is from the US Virgin Islands, and you could definitely see where a lot of his experiences and where he grew up in his writing. It's pretty incredible, and I very much enjoyed it. No Gods, No Monsters is actually the first book of a series called the Convergence Saga. And I'm gonna go ahead and read it because I've already read this, because as soon as this book came out, I wanted it so bad, but I already had like a whole stack of books, as you can see right there, that I haven't read. So I just held off. I was just like, okay, there's gonna be an opportunity for me to read this. I don't need this like right now. The description is: one October morning, Lena gets the news that her brother was shot and killed by Boston cops. But what looks like a case of police brutality soon reveals something much stranger. Monsters are real, and they want everyone to know it. As creatures from myth and legend come out of the shadows seeking safety through visibility, their emergence sets off a chain of seemingly unrelated events. Members of a local werewolf pack are threatened into silence. A professor follows a missing friend's trail of breadcrumbs into a mysterious secret society. And a young boy with unique abilities seeks refuge in a pro-monster organization with secrets of its own. Meanwhile, more people start disappearing, suicides and hate crimes increase, and protests erupt globally, both for and against the monsters. At the center is a mystery no one thinks to ask. Why now? What has frightened the monsters out of the dark? The world will soon find out. So, yes, I am so hyped. I'm so excited and ecstatic to get to this book. Cadwell Turnbull, I feel like I didn't know about him until Jessie from Bow Ties and Books had this book as the group book for a readathon that Jessie did in February, which was Blackathon. Yes. So that's when I read the lesson, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so the last book that I will be reading for Blackaweenathon is for the prompt, read a book with queer rep. So I have this book actually right here. I was so lucky to find this book, and I'm going to show you right now because it looks incredible. Doesn't that look freaking gorgeous? So this book is The Deep by Rivers Solomon, and I can't wait to read this. I remember hearing so many things about this book, and I was like, I want that book, but I couldn't find this book anywhere. I trying to not really shop at huge bookstores like Barnes or especially on Amazon. So I finally found this gorgeous cover. I went to this really small local bookstore in a town that's like about 3 hours away that I regularly visit, and it was there. And I was like screaming. I think everybody looked at me in the bookstore like, what the heck is going on over there? But yeah, I'm gonna read the back. It's pretty short. It's not that long, but it says, Yitu holds the memories for her people. Her people, the one Junru, descendants of pregnant African slave women thrown overboard by slave owners, live idyllic lives in the deep. Their past, too painful to be remembered regularly, is forgotten by everyone save one. The memories, harrowing and wonderful, traumatic and terrible, are destroying it too. And so she flees to the surface, escaping her expectations and responsibilities, and discovers a world, the one Juro left long ago. Wow. Goodness, I can't remember who reviewed this book, and it was incredible. I believe it was last year, but yeah, I was so happy to get this book. And River Solomon, I still haven't read anything by River Solomon, and I think I started Sorrowland, but I never got to finish it because I was in the middle of moving. And I also started An Unkindness of Ghosts, and I never finished it. I was actually listening to that book, audiobook, and then all of a sudden, me moving and all this chaos, and that book just got pulled back by the library. I was like, no! Yeah, I cannot wait to read that book, and I'm so excited. And I'm so excited to be participating and Blackaweenathon and just seeing everybody else's videos and content and to see what they're reading. And most of the time, like if I'm at work. So I'm done with Blackaweenathon. Another book that I am going to talk about is a book that I wanted to finish reading for Latinx Heritage Month and Hispanic Heritage Month. And the book that I wanted to read for, because I'm almost done with it, because I think the Heritage Month is from September 15th to October 15th. So I'm almost done. I'm pretty sure I might finish it tomorrow. But the book is called The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. And wow, I just want to say this book is good. I don't know what I'm going to rate it. I feel, but this book is very much a cultural read, even just spiritual read, but I love like a book that has family in it. I swear. I think sometimes like a family saga books, most of the time I end up giving them like 5 or 4 stars if I really enjoy it. I actually was gifted the audiobook from Libro FM, and they sent me an audiobook for free. So so thank you, and I'm really excited because even the narration is incredible. I know that if I read this book, me reading it, I wouldn't have had the same experience that I'm having now with audiobook. So yeah, it's pretty incredible, and I'm having so much fun and I can't wait to finish it tomorrow. I'll probably, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna finish it soon. I thought that I finished this. Okay, this is so funny. So one night I was listening to this book and I was so excited. I was like, oh, I finished it. And I was so happy. I was like, this book is so good. And then I talked with a friend about this book and I was like, wait, what are you talking about? And I realized that I accidentally skipped chapters. I don't know how many. So I just went back to the earliest thing that I remembered, and I'm reading from there, and it's all new. So I was like, oh my gosh, I missed so much. So I think it was because one night I fell asleep and I was listening to this book while I was in my room and I was getting ready for bed, and I think I just fell asleep and it just probably ended up playing. I remember the next morning I was like, holy crap, I already read this much. But yeah, it was funny. So I'm actually almost done with it. It was kind of like a really funny, silly mistake that I did. And I remember telling a friend of mine that I finished it. It was so good. And here I didn't even finish it. I skipped like a whole bunch of chapters. So yeah, I'm really excited to finish that book. Okay, so the last book that I wanted to read for the month of October is by an Indigenous author. Yeah, so I actually have a book I'm going to be reading by an Indigenous author. And this book is Empire of Wild by Cherie Dimaline. So if you think this name is familiar, it probably is, because Cherie Dimaline is also the author of The Marrow Thieves, and this is her most recent book. She also has another book coming out pretty soon. This book, definitely, I've heard great things about it. I heard it's like a perfect read for Halloweenish and fall and spooky vibes and thriller vibes. So I kind of already heard like a spoiler about it, and not major spoiler, but just something minor. And I was like, what, for real? So that's when I was like, okay, I really want to read this. But okay, so I'm going to read just a couple paragraphs. So Joan has been searching for her missing husband, Victor, for nearly a year, ever since that terrible night they had their first serious argument and he mysteriously vanished. Her Métis family has lived in their tightly knit rural community for generations, but no one keeps the old ways until they have to. That moment has arrived for Joan. One morning, grieving and severely hungover, Joan hears a shocking sound coming from the inside of a revival tent in a gritty Walmart parking lot. It is the unmistakable voice of Victor. Drawn inside, she sees him, the same face, the same eyes, the same hands, but he doesn't seem to recognize Joan at all. He insists his name is Eugene Wolfe and that he is a reverend whose mission is to spread the word of Jesus and to grow his flock. Yet Joan suspects there is something dark and terrifying within this charismatic preacher who professes to be a man of God, something old and very dangerous. So yes, I cannot wait to read this book. I'm also probably going to be having another video, I know. So this is like, okay, I'm done with my October TBR. So if you all want to leave the video, that's fine, but I'm just going to do post dates, or post notes, or post video notes. I don't know. I'm gonna be having a couple videos out coming soon for because Indigathon is happening in November. I'm gonna have book recommendation videos for that. I'm also going to be having another giveaway for Indigathon. So I'm kind of like talking to Indigenous artists and just say, hey, do you want to participate again this year? Also, I am going to be doing some just really short videos talking about book recommendations for like fall, or maybe spooky Indigenous authored book titles that maybe you all want to check out. So yeah, okay, well, I think I'm gonna stop talking now, and I hope you all are doing very well. Hope you are all safe, and thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, so I shall see you soon. Bye.
Hey, oh, oh, oh. Hey, 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 hey.